Morning, YouTube. David here on a glorious Friday morning. I know everybody's preparing for the weekend. And I thought this morning I would bring you a review of a tobacco that I haven't seen but one review on. And so in my Missouri Meerschaum Diplomat that I got from Aristocob, I am smoking McClelland 221b series Black Shag, which will be my review tobacco for the day. And then a fancy cup, but you wish you had one. And yes, that is coffee. It was black coffee until I tried to drink it, and I don't know what I did today, but it was dark. How dark was it? It was so dark that I couldn't but get a sip of it. It was practically tar. That's how dark it was. I haven't made coffee with a French press in like 2 years, so I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but tomorrow I'll be better at it. So on to the purpose of the video. McClelland 221b series Black Shag. This is McClelland's estimation of what Sherlock Holmes would have smoked. There are 3 tobaccos in the series right now. Honeydew, which Susan Cushing offered to him in the midst of the story, which was a aromatic Irish flake. Arcadia, which is John Watson's mixture, outside of ship's tobacco, which I would equate to be something along the lines of, like, based on the time, probably like Hamburger Veermaster. It could have been like a Dunhill Deluxe Navy Roll or something like that, but I assume it would have been something like a straight Virginia, big thick flake like Veermaster. Sherlock, on the other hand, this is specifically for him. He was known to order his shag by the pound and smoke the whole damn thing. He preferred strong tobacco. He did smoke all 3 kinds of tobacco, and to me there are only 3 kinds: cigarettes, cigars, pipes. Cigarettes he had hand-rolled for him by his tobacconist, and he kept in a metal case inside his cigarette case inside his jacket. His cigars he kept in the coal basket, or the coal bin, next to the fireplace, which to me seems like an odd place to keep them, but I mean, if you like your shit dry, go ahead, put it near the fireplace. And the shag he kept in the toe of a Persian slipper on top of the fireplace. So obviously he liked strong tobacco, and he liked dry tobacco. He was also known to keep the dotles of his previous day's pipes up on the mantelpiece, and he would make his first pipe of the day out of dottle, which seems to me like he preferred a really intense smoke, if not just tar. This blend, I think, based on what I've read about Sherlock, and I am a little bit of a Sherlock buff, I am a huge fan of the stories and the television and movie adaptations. Based on what I've read so far, I think this would have suited Sherlock fairly well. It is a sweet tobacco, to me at least. When you open up the tin, you're greeted by the sight of dark Virginias. You've got some really dark leaf and then some medium brown leaf, but in general, it is a very dark tobacco. It is stoved, so flavor-wise, it is very mellow. When I open it up, I get little hints of citrus in the background. When I first opened the tin, I was getting that classic McClelland vinegar ketchup smell, but it was very subdued and in the background. Since then, I've kept the tobacco in the tin for the past week or so, because I like my tobacco on the drier side. And it has dissipated completely, and all I'm left with is hits of tobacco, pure tobacco smell, caramel, and a little bit of that citrus, more like an orange than, say, a lemon. Sweeter citrus rather than sour. And that surprises me entirely because it almost smells like borderline aromatic, but I know there's no casing on here. There's no way they could case this tobacco and keep it as dry as they did. Now, I would say it is a medium strength tobacco. Not terribly heavy on the nicotine. Flavor is very robust, but not overpowering. And I say medium on flavor as well because it depends on how hard you smoke it. If you were to smoke this tobacco as hard as, say, Holmes did, which he was known to puff and puff and puff and puff and fill an entire room with acrid blue-gray smoke, then yes, I would say that it is among the strength that he would have enjoyed. If you were to sit and puff casually, the flavors stay fairly similar. There's really not much of a difference whether you're puffing hard or puffing lightly. And you do get hints of the caramel, but just that classic sweet Virginia taste. Now, these tins that I bought, I've since purchased 2 more tins to keep on hand. All 3 of these tins were from the same batch, tinned in 2011. So I'm thinking maybe the age has something to do. 2 years of age on it, plus however long they aged it previously, I'm sure is helping keep this tobacco taste wonderful. I just got coffee all over my shirt. Just pretend you don't see that. This tobacco was first introduced in 1997 at one of the, I believe it was at one of the Sherlock Holmes club gatherings or something like that. They do a big club. And I have to say, I'm surprised I didn't try it sooner. Flavor-wise, I mean, when you puff a little bit harder, it becomes almost clove-like, I guess you could say. A hint of spice, but on the tongue, it stays sweet like caramel. I think that's wonderful. Was this the exact blend that Holmes smoked? Probably not. Is it something that I can imagine them sending him when he requested his shag? Yes, absolutely. I could see him definitely smoking this. I imagine that he would have preferred it a slight bit stronger, probably more along the lines of Irish flake, but still with the same flavor profile, or similar profile, to this tobacco. So if you're looking for something, a stoved Virginia, that is kind of, I don't know, I would say kind of in between aromatic and straight Virginia, because it's so sweet that it kind of gives you that impression. I would say, and if you're just looking for a good straight Virginia with warm flavors and something that you can really sit and enjoy, this is definitely worth it. It is shag cut tobacco, so it's very thin. So you have to really kind of pay attention when you're packing the bowl, because I packed this thing thinking, oh, it's thin, don't worry about it. I packed it way too tight, and I made it taste like crap. So don't do that. Do yourself a favor. Don't do that. Don't pack this tobacco too tight. Take care. Let it set out a minute, because I think it really does do better when it's dry, which is pretty much what it says on the tin, this is what they deduced to be the perfect smoking moisture, but when I cracked my tin, it was a little too moist for me, and I imagine that Sherlock would have preferred it more along the lines of how I smoke it, which is a little bit dry, but I've left it in the tin to kind of dry out more so I can work my way through it. And I usually let it sit out for a minute or two before I pack, and it definitely stays lit better when it's drier. So give it a try. McClelland 221b Black Shag. And for anyone who's a Sherlock Holmes fan, I actually just recently found out, being that I'm a fan. I really like all the adaptations. So far, my favorite is Johnny Lee Miller in the CBS. I think it's CBS or NBC. The series Elementary, with Lucy Liu playing Joan Watson. He really seems to grasp the idiosyncrasies of the character, and appearance-wise, I think he kind of suits the description of Holmes. Thinner nose, really alert eyes, the kind of the Michael Keaton eyebrow thing going on, and just kind of overall very self-absorbed in a way, we'll say. He's not excessively tall, because in the book, it does say, in the books, the stories, I should say, it does say that Sherlock is quite over 6 feet, and being excessively lean, it makes him look taller. Thankfully, Johnny Lee Miller is excessively lean. Well, maybe not excessively, but he's lean enough to look much taller, and despite Lucy Liu wearing high heels in almost every scene. So check that out if you're into Sherlock. Pretty much all the series, all the movies that they're coming out with. But the point of this is, there is a new movie coming out. I don't know when. I don't know that it's completely confirmed. From what I understand, it's all but confirmed. Sir Ian McKellen will be playing Sherlock Holmes, solving a mystery from 50 years previous. It is a mystery that he was unable to solve 50 years ago, and at this point, obviously, there's no more Watson. He's older, his mental powers and faculties are beginning to wane, and all he has is I believe it's his maid, where he's living now in the country, and her son, who is a bit of an amateur sleuth himself. So between the three of them, he has to figure out this mystery. And I don't know what bearing it takes on his life at that point, because obviously now we're 50 years in the future, and he is much older, so I can only imagine how they're going to play it. But as far as looks go, I mean, I think Sir Ian McClellan is going to do a wonderful job. He does have the perfect look, height, stature, just attitude in general. He should be the perfect elder Sherlock Holmes. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that movie. So if you're a Holmes fan, keep your eyes out. Give this tobacco a try. It's definitely worth it. And if you don't like it, send it to me, because I will smoke it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Give it a try. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my pipe, the rest of my Friday. And the same thing with the weekend. To everybody who's out at the down in Nashville right now for I believe it's the pipe show, I've seen your stuff on Instagram. Keep posting pictures, because I feel like I'm getting to see what's going on down there, because unfortunately I didn't get to go. So enjoy your weekend, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.